We've got 4 cracking films, 4 great writers, and the one that's actually kind of a little bit more personal for my character, if I'm being really selfish, is episode 2, which is about fatherhood and parenting. And I think with Vera, we often get obviously very big plot stories and small glimpses into the characters' kind of personal circumstances. So episode 2 for Aiden, there's a whole story which is set in a salmon fish farm up in Scotland, actually, in Eyemouth we went to, just across the border, beautiful place. The story is this guy is trying to figure out his family tree, and it really resonated with my character Aiden. So there's a big story in that. Episode 4, which we just finished, I would say is about atonement, and we have a big story around dog racing, and it's called Blood Money. So the 4 episodes that you've got, our first one is Blood Spilt, I think it's called, and then we've got Parents Not Expected. The third one's called Doughty, which is about 0-hour contracts and the exploitation of organised criminals and how they kind of, this guy's involved in that and he's figuring out, I can't really give that away, but he's deeply involved in something that leads to something else. And then the 4th one is about Blood Money, which is about racetracks and stuff like that. So great, really good themes, big worlds. I don't know how they do it. Every year they come up with these amazing new worlds and new stories, and every time I read a script I'm like, right, I'm going to work this out, I know who the killer is, and I never get it. I mean, I'm blown away by it. You know, I joined in 2014 in series 5 and it was a great show and I was nervous to come into the show. But since then, and it's not a coincidence that I'm in it, no, is that it's grown and grown and grown, you know, it's great. I loved it. I mean, I'm a big fan of Scotland anyway. You know, I've got pals, like I said to you before, we were talking, I've got pals from drama school up there. But we filmed this beautiful place, which is just, if you know, you kind of obviously get up to Berwick and then you go north of Berwick and this beautiful alcove that we filmed in. And I think next to it, if you're a Marvel comic fan, the exterior of Endgame where Thor's getting drunk is the same, or near that location there. You might be able to kind of do a spot the difference, which is near Eyemouth and Bournemouth, maybe, I think. So yeah, weather was brutal, as ever, but you know, we're kind of used to that when we're in Newcastle. I mean, he's a very quiet, thoughtful detective, you know, and he lets Vera obviously take the lead, and when they're on their own they have their kind of own theories and talk about that. But on a personal front, it's much more, he's just kind of, I mean, episode 4 is a biggie. Vera gets herself into a lot of trouble and she tries to deal with that trouble as she always does, like an island and on her own. So Aiden and his team have to kind of pick up the pieces and try as much as you can to rein in Vera. Good luck to anybody who can do that. I've tried for 6 years and it's not worked. So episode 4 is quite a big year. You know, it's series 10 and we've got a really big set piece and big storyline. I suppose I can't say, but there's guns involved, which is a new one for us. So it's, you know, it's a bit more terrifying for people. I think, you know, first and foremost the scripts, but then also my professional and personal friendship with Brenda. You know, she's over the 6 years, she's become a really good, close friend. And we spend, I think we worked it out the other day, I think we spend 15 hours a day filming. And then when we finish, we come in and we'll, you know, learn the lines and we'll have a little drink and watch some TV and relax and joke. And even the weekends, you know, we'll probably hang out. So, you know, for 6 months of the year, she's, you know, we're kind of joined at the hip and we get on, we have such a laugh, we go out, socialise, and I think that friendship is really special. And then on top, we often bring back the same crew members, and there's a real kind of second family feeling for the show. So when you get there, everyone knows each other, and you know, 6 months is a long time for people, and people's lives are moving on, and they're going through things, so you become a family and you really invest in each other. The Geordies are fantastic people. They're, you know, good for a good night out, and they're really up for socialising. We go bowling, we go go-karting, we'll go to the Lake District if we want to go for a weekend. We go to, you know, the beaches in Newcastle are fantastic, so we'll go down and have a barbecue on the beach and do Tynemouth, and you know, it's kind of like trying not to drink too much is the objective. I mean, you know, the big thing is I forget, right? I forget that Vera is terrifying, and I know that Brenda is lovely. She's kind and generous and warm. So when we go out, we're having this great time. And as my character and as Kenny, I know that when she puts a hat and mac on, she becomes Vera, but I'm used to that. What's always really interesting is when we have fantastic guest artists come on, or even a director actually for the first time, and the first time they meet Brenda will be as Vera, and it's terrifying. She puts it on, it's boom. All right? What are you laughing at? What's so funny about that? And you're like, oh, okay. You know, and it's really terrifying. And then she takes, oh, she's about a kid and about being Vera, it's all right, Ken, don't worry about it. You know, so he's got this thing, it's amazing. The transformation, it's like a super cape. You put it on and you're like, wow. And I love that about her. I love the fact that she's so committed to the work, always committed to the work, and instantly becomes a character, you know. And we joke about not being method actors, but when, you know, action's called and we're in that place, something happens. It's just kind of like a switch goes on. In theatre, you have, when you're in the wings in the theatre, just before the curtain goes up, you wait in the wings and you've got a red dot, red light and a green light. And you could be joking around and then the green light comes on and that's it. And that's kind of what happens with Brenda. As soon as that green light's on, she's in the world of Vera and is Vera. And it's fantastic to watch. I think one of the biggest appeals of Vera is that they're self-contained, and I think in an era where we're in long-form narratives with box sets, and I get a little bit of fear. They go, oh, have you seen this? I go, how many series? There are 3. I'm at 3 series, and that's 12, 24, 36 hours. I'm like, okay, I'll find the time to do that. This we can drop in. If you've never sseen Vera before and you want to drop in series 10, you don't need to have seen what's happened before. It's a self-contained 2-hour film because they're based on Anne's books. So you have a beginning, a middle and an end, and you're going to be satisfied. A Sunday night, you're like, oh, I've not seen this before, let me tune into it. I don't need to know what's going on before. And because the characters know what they're doing and Vera and Brenda are so strong, you're straight in the world and you're straight into the kind of dynamic of Aiden and Vera being snippy with each other, but ultimately trying to find justice, you know, and it's great locations, wonderful scripts, and there's Brenda Blethyn at her best. You want what you want.
And yourself at your best as well. Yeah.
There's a couple, actually. There was one guy, and we don't normally do this, so this is an unusual thing that we did, but we had this brilliant actor in episode 1 called Simon Trinder came in to play a guest part, and for some reason we decided to look him up, right? And we saw on his CV, and we've all got this, I've got awful things on my CV that we were embarrassed about, but he said on his CV that he was brilliant at badminton, right? So when he came in, we said, let's wind him up. So he came in, I was like, I said, do you play? He said, what? I said, did you play? We pretended to be posh. He went, well, do I? Badminton? You said you played badminton. And he went, do I? Do I? Oh, I don't know. I said, yeah, no, well, look. And he went, oh my God, yeah, no, I should have taken that off. I don't know why that's on there. Anyway, he left and bought us a badminton set. And then me and Brenda at lunchtime, we had this badminton tournament. We were going along, we started whacking the badminton around and doing all that, which was like, everyone would go, why have you got this badminton set? This whole running gag was, do you play? Do you play? I play. Yeah, I play badminton. No.